Sun Tzu, The Importance of Adaptability in Tactics and Planning. What is victory? Is it the conquest of one's enemies, the accumulation of wealth, or the achievement of a goal? No. True victory is found in the ability to adapt, to change with the tides of fortune, and to emerge triumphant regardless of the challenges that lay before you. I am Sun Tzu, an ancient master of strategy and warfare, and today I shall impart to you the essence of adaptability in tactics and planning. In the realms of conflict and competition, the rigid and unyielding are often the first to break. It is a truth as old as conflict itself. To master the art of war, or any endeavor you may face, you must become like water, taking the shape of whatever vessel contains it, flowing into every crevice where it might find space. This is the essence of adaptability, the core principle that underpins every strategy and every plan. Let us begin our exploration of this principle with the first lesson, the recognition of change as the only constant. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound lessons from the legend, recognizing change as the only constant. In the annals of history, those who have risen to greatness, those who have etched their names in the stone of eternity, were not the ones who clung desperately to the old ways. They were the visionaries who recognized that change is the only constant in our world. As the seasons cycle from spring to winter, so too must your tactics and plans evolve. Consider the battlefield, a realm I know well. The terrain shifts under the feet of the soldiers. The weather turns from ally to enemy in moments. The enemy adapts and learns from each encounter. If a general were to fixate on a single strategy, on a preordained plan without room for adjustment, that general would soon gaze upon a field of defeat. Now, I ask you, when you look upon your own life, your own fields of battle, can you say that you are prepared for change? Do you have the foresight to see the waves of change on the horizon and the wisdom to adjust your sails accordingly? Let me tell you a story from the Warring States period, a time of great conflict and upheaval. There was a general who, like you, sought victory above all else. This general had crafted a plan, a strategy so complex and so thorough that he believed it to be unbeatable. But as the armies met on the field of battle, a great storm arose. The winds howled, the rain beat down like drums, and the rivers swelled like the belly of a dragon. The general watched in horror as his plans fell to ruin. His chariots became mired in mud. His archers could not see through the sheets of rain, and his soldiers' spirits sank into the earth along with their boots. It was then that he realized his error. He had planned for a battle, but not for this battle, not for the reality of change. Victory belongs to those who are most adaptable to change, not to those who are determined to fight in conditions that are no longer present. As I have said before, in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and to strike at what is weak. You must learn to perceive the strengths and weaknesses that arise with each shift of circumstance and to adjust your grip on the hilt of strategy. As we delve into the wisdom of adaptability, remember that a plan is but a starting point, a map that guides you into the unknown. It is not the territory itself. The territory is ever-changing, and so too must be your path through it. Now tell me, have you ever faced a moment where a plan of yours has failed due to unforeseen changes? Have you had the fortitude to let go of what you held firm and to flow into a new form, a new approach? Water shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows. The soldier works out his victory in relation to the foe whom he is facing. Just as water does not cling to the mountain once it has passed it by, So too should you not cling to plans when the ground beneath them has shifted. As we progress, you will come to understand the subtleties of adaptability, the signs that signal the need for change, and the methods by which you can transform not only your tactics but your very way of thinking to achieve victory, no matter the circumstances. Now let us move on to our second lesson, where we will explore the art of flexibility in tactics and the power it holds. The art of flexibility in tactics. Flexibility is the sinew of adaptability. It is the capacity to bend without breaking, to sway with the force of the gale, and yet remain rooted. In the pursuit of victory, whether on the battlefield or in the boardroom, flexibility is your greatest ally. It is the art of altering tactics in response to the shifting sands of circumstance while keeping your eyes fixed on the ultimate prize. Consider the bamboo, which bends under the weight of the snow but does not break. When the snow melts, the bamboo springs back as upright and as strong as before. Emulating the bamboo, your tactics must be similarly resilient, capable of withstanding the unforeseen without shattering. Now let me share with you an example from my own experiences. In one of my campaigns, I faced an enemy far superior in number. The traditional approach would have been to avoid confrontation until a more favorable situation presented itself. However, such an opportunity would not come. I needed to devise a plan that accounted for my disadvantage while still allowing me to seize the initiative. My solution was to employ flexibility in its purest form. I spread false information suggesting that my forces were far larger and preparing to attack. In response, the enemy hesitated. Their movements became conservative, and their scouts searched for an army that did not exist. Meanwhile, I maneuvered my actual forces into a position of advantage, striking swiftly at a point I knew to be vulnerable. It was not brute force that won the day, but the ability to be flexible in my tactics, to deceive and to adapt. Now I ask you to consider, when faced with obstacles that seem insurmountable, do you remain rigid, adhering to a preconceived plan, or do you find the strength to be flexible, to find a path around, over, or through the barrier? Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. The essence of this wisdom is anticipation. To win first, you must be flexible enough to adapt your tactics to the reality of the battlefield before the battle has even begun. In your own life, have you not found that the rigid are often the first to falter? It is those who are flexible, who can adapt their tactics to the nuances of their environment, who often find success, whether it is in negotiation, in leadership, or in the personal pursuit of goals. Flexibility will often determine the outcome. Consider the leader who listens to their team, who adjusts their approach based on the strengths and weaknesses of the individuals they command. This leader is like a masterful commander who arranges their forces according to the terrain and the disposition of the enemy. They do not demand that the mountain move for them. Instead, they find the path that leads through the mountain. As we continue to explore the principle of adaptability, I will lead you through the intricacies of situational awareness and decision-making. For now, reflect on the ways in which you can incorporate greater flexibility into your tactics, how you can become the bamboo in the snow, bending but not breaking. Let us proceed to the third lesson, where we shall delve into the importance of situational awareness and how it informs the adaptable mind. The luminous web of situational awareness. Situational awareness is the canvas upon which the art of adaptability is painted. It is the keen perception of the environment, the understanding of every variable, every change, every nuance. It is the ability to see the luminous web of interconnectedness that binds the elements of any situation together. Imagine yourself as a spider in the center of a vast web. Each vibration, each tremor along the silken threads conveys to you a wealth of information. The adept warrior, like the spider, senses these vibrations and discerns their meaning, anticipating the movements of the prey before it even knows it is caught. During the times of the warring states, I found myself outnumbered and outmaneuvered on many occasions. Yet, it was not the size of the armies that determined the outcome, but the understanding of the environment, the grasp of the terrain, the weather, the morale of the men, and the disposition of the enemy. There was one battle where the fog of war was literal, a dense mist that covered the field at dawn. Many generals would wait, hold their positions, and let the fog lift. But situational awareness is not just about seeing, it is about feeling the moment. I ordered my troops forward using the mist as a cloak, and we were upon the enemy before they could ready their weapons. The victory was decisive. I now ask you to examine your own capacity for situational awareness. Do you perceive the subtle shifts in your environment? Do you sense the tremors of change and react accordingly, or do you wait for the fog to lift, often finding that the moment of opportunity has passed? To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. This is not just about anticipating their moves. It is about understanding their fears, their hopes, their strengths, their weaknesses. It is about seeing the world through their eyes. When you do this, you can anticipate their actions and counter them before they come to pass. In your life, whether you are a leader, a strategist, or an individual striving for personal growth, your situational awareness will often be the deciding factor between success and failure. It is not enough to be intelligent or well-informed. You must also be attuned to the subtler currents of change. Reflect now on the times when you have been blindsided by events. Could it be that the signs were there, but you did not perceive them? Could it be that the threads of the web vibrated with warning, but you were not attuned to their frequency? As we move forward, I will show you how to enhance your situational awareness, how to listen to the whispers of change, and how to act upon them with precision and certainty. And now, we shall advance to the fourth and final lesson, where the culmination of adaptability is realized in the form of strategic innovation, the apex of adaptability, strategic innovation. Strategic innovation is the crowning jewel of adaptability, the moment where foresight, flexibility, and awareness coalesce into a transformative approach. It is the ability to not only navigate the storm, but to emerge from it having redefined the landscape. In my treatise on warfare, I emphasize the importance of deception, speed, and fluidity of action. These are not mere tactics, they are the essence of innovation on the battlefield. To innovate strategically is to rewrite the rules of engagement, to transform weakness into strength, and to turn the tide when all seems lost. Consider the tale of the siege of a great city, one with walls that touched the heavens and gates as sturdy as the mountains. Many generals had crashed against those walls like waves against the shore, all failing to grasp victory. When it was my turn to face this challenge, I did not see walls. I saw opportunity. Instead of assaulting the gates, I laid siege quietly, cutting off supplies and sowing seeds of discontent within. I sent a small contingent of my forces to make noise and feints at the rear, drawing the enemy's attention. Meanwhile, I used the cover of night to scale a less guarded part of the wall with a select group of my finest soldiers. Once inside, we opened the gates from within. The city fell not because of brute force, but because of a new approach, a strategic innovation. Now, I invite you to consider your own capacity for strategic innovation. When confronted with a challenge that seems insurmountable, do you batter against it with tried and failed methods, or do you step back and envision a new strategy, a novel approach that might catch your adversaries off guard? In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. The ones who seize this opportunity are those who think differently, who see beyond the conventional, and who are not afraid to venture into the uncharted. They are the innovators, the thinkers, the visionaries. In your own pursuits, whether they be professional or personal, you will encounter your own high walls and sturdy gates. Will you attempt to breach them in the same manner as those who have come before you, or will you find the gate left unguarded, the path untraveled? Strategic innovation requires courage, the courage to let go of old paradigms and embrace the uncertainty of new ones. It demands creativity, the creativity to envision possibilities where others see only obstacles. As we close this chapter on the principles of adaptability, remember that the greatest victory is not over your enemies, but over the rigidity of your own thinking. Embrace change, be flexible in your tactics, maintain acute situational awareness, and dare to innovate strategically. Now, as you step forth from this place of learning, take with you the essence of these lessons. Let them guide you in the ever-unfolding art of war and peace, in the grand strategy of your life. May your journey be marked by the triumphs of an adaptable mind, for in adaptability there lies the true art of victory.